What's up, Taiwan? I'm Sandy Chi with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Honduras says it will cut diplomatic ties with Taiwan. The announcement came in a tweet from the country's president on Wednesday. President Xiomara Castro says Honduras will establish ties with China instead. China makes severing ties with Taiwan a condition for diplomatic relations. Castro spoke about switching recognition to China while on the campaign trail, but stepped back after taking office last year. There was renewed speculation about a switch in January after the Honduran foreign minister met a Chinese official. Taiwan has lost several allies in recent years as China stepped up efforts to win them over. When Honduras switches, Taiwan will have only 13 remaining diplomatic allies. Some analysts believe more are set to follow Honduras.
I think in general, most of the countries we typically refer to as Taiwan allies in the region, Latin America and the Caribbean, will just by sheer economic weight of gravity probably switch in the next coming decade, probably even sooner than 5 years.
There are plenty of political news in Taiwan as well. Taiwan's vice president is running to be the country's next leader. Lai Ching-te registered as a candidate for the ruling Democratic Progressive Party on Wednesday, and our reporter Stash Butler was there to see it.
It's official. Lai Ching-te is running to be the next president. On Wednesday, Taiwan's vice president came here to the ruling Democratic Progressive Party headquarters in Taipei to register as the party's nominee. He used baseball as an analogy to set out his vision for the country.
此时此刻，我们都是台湾队。Team Taiwan， 挺台湾，让我们一起加油，让台湾成为民主世界的 MVP。
Unless there's a last-minute surprise at Party HQ and someone else puts their name forward, Lai will be the DPP's candidate in the election in January. He's running to replace Tsai Ing-wen, who's hit her two-term limit. As Tsai's second-in-command, Lai in many ways represents continuity. On foreign policy, he's echoed Tsai's line on Taiwan's status. Both say Taiwan is already a sovereign state and therefore has no need to formally declare independence. But that stance has not pleased China. Beijing claims Taiwan as part of its territory and has been ramping up political and military pressure against it.
I think China maybe will expect him to do a little more on independence issues, but I don't think it'll be that much different. But I think we do live in a very different world than when Tsai Ing-wen took office, in which tensions are much higher now between the U.S. and China.
But Lai is by no means guaranteed to win. After 8 years of DPP rule, Taiwanese voters may well decide they want a change in direction, paving the way for the opposition Kuomintang, or KMT. Or perhaps the public might choose a candidate from a smaller group, like the Taiwan People's Party. Both those parties say they can handle the economy and relations with Beijing better than the current government. We still don't know who those two parties will put forward as candidates for the 2024 presidential race. But whoever runs, one thing's for sure. With Taiwan-China tensions running high, the whole world's eyes will be on the winner. Eason Chen and Stash Butler in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
Parents are voicing concern about proposed revisions to Taiwan's Mobilization Act. The plan would expand Taiwan's recruitment pool to include all students aged 16 and above in the event of a Chinese invasion. Joyce Zheng has more.
Worried parents and educators were given a chance to speak at a public hearing over the All-Out Defense Mobilization Readiness Act on Wednesday. Tensions have been mounting over changes to the law proposed by Taiwan's Defense Ministry in late February. One of the most controversial points is the creation of a roster of all students aged 16 and above in Taiwan. The military say this will help them show the exact number of people that could be mobilized in wartime. This signals an escalation in the country's preparations for a potential attack by China. China claims Taiwan as part of its territory and said it would take it by force if necessary. But people fear the proposed changes will put children in danger.
学生会不太知道说，什么样的情况，他在什么样的身份之下会需要被纳入全动法之中，被所谓的动员这样子。
Some politicians have also voiced their disapproval. Opposition Kuomintang chairman Eric Chu pledged on March 1st that his party would not let the revisions clear the legislative floor. To ease concerns, the presidential office has explained that the changes would only apply in a wartime emergency and not during peacetime. The Defense Ministry has also clarified that in the event of a Chinese invasion, young students would only be expected to serve in supporting roles, for example, in disaster relief and civil defense. Students would not be responsible for producing weapons or put into active military service. But parents are still not convinced.
支援什么医疗、救护、消防、抢救、维修、卫生、精细生产，这都你们写的。你们有跟我们讲说学生准备好了嘛？把这16岁的孩子都当的是超能嘛？
Currently, high school students have no dedicated training in military defense or first aid. Schools only provide 8 hours of basic national defense education twice a year. The curriculum for those programs is up to each school.
军工厂一样炸，我们看乌克兰战争。 俄罗斯的军队、俄罗斯的火箭、匕首飞弹，还有远点的飞弹，就对他的军工厂做轰炸。那如果这个中共也对我们这样，那我们高中生在里面这边做子弹呢？那不是没有前后方之分了吗？
Some educators are asking whether recruiting students would benefit the war effort at all. At the public hearing, the principal of a Taipei junior high school said recruiting retired service members would be more effective. The ministry has already said it would further revise its original plan pitched in late February. As discussions continue, any proposals must still be approved by lawmakers before they can take effect. Kama Xu and Joyce Zhen for TaiwanPlus.
In top international news, the U.S. has summoned the Russian ambassador after a Russian fighter jet forced down an American drone over the Black Sea. The incident marks an escalation of confrontation between the two powers near Ukraine. Louise Watt reports.
An American Reaper surveillance drone like this one has been downed in the first direct military clash between the US and Russia since the start of the Ukraine war. The US said a Russian fighter jet hit the unmanned drone, or UAV, which was carrying out intelligence and observation work on Tuesday over the Black Sea, which borders Ukraine.
Because of the damage, we were in a position to have to essentially crash it into the Black Sea.
Close encounters between US drones and Russian aircraft are not uncommon over the Black Sea, but this was the first collision. The White House and Pentagon condemned Russia over the incident.
It's clear that it was unsafe, unprofessional, and I think the actions speak for themselves. What we saw again were fighter aircraft dumping fuel in front of this UAV, and then getting so close to the aircraft that it actually damaged the propeller on the MQ-9. We assess that it likely caused some damage to the Russian aircraft as well.
But Russia denies its fighter jets came into contact with the drone. The Russian Defense Ministry said on the social media platform Telegram, the Russian fighters did not use their onboard weapons, did not come into contact with the UAV, and returned safely to their home airfield. Nonetheless, Washington summoned the Russian ambassador to lodge a diplomatic protest. He told reporters Moscow doesn't want a confrontation with the United States.
We prefer to not to create a situation where we can face unintended clashes or unintended incidents between the Russian Federation and the United States.
The key question for many is whether this collision was simply a mistake by the Russian pilot or a deliberate hit, and whether Moscow might be wanting to test Washington's response or even get their hands on the drone's wreckage and its sensitive technology. But whatever the reason, there are fears that incidents like this can trigger unpredictable consequences. Ricky and Louise Watt for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, today we leave you with images of spring flowers blooming in central and southern Taiwan. I'm Sandy Chi. Take care and see you next time.